Namaskar, good morning. Welcome to StudyIQ English. My name is Bhuvan and you are with the Editorial Edge, your daily morning dose of news analysis, where we take a look at those concepts, those articles that are of utmost importance to you in the course of your preparation. Okay. So before we begin, very quickly, if anyone is watching me live, just give me the confirmation that you can hear me all right, so that we may begin. Deepak, good morning. Welcome, guys. Okay. So what articles do I have for you today? I have 3 important articles. One of them just been announced. In fact, it's just been around 6 hours since the announcement was made, a major announcement by the International Whaling Commission. And what is the International Whaling Commission saying? Well, that a particular type of mammal, a sea mammal, a marine mammal, is now under the direct threat of extinction. In fact, just 10 samples, 10 units of that particular mammal are now left. Okay, so that's going to be our first topic of the day. This particular mammal that we'll take a look at, found in the Gulf of Mexico, goes by the name of Vaquita porpoise. Okay, just 10 samples, in fact 10 units of this particular species is now left in the entire world. What is causing its extinction? Okay. And what locus standi does the International Whaling Commission have in announcing this particular event? Okay, we'll take a look at that. Second, we'll move on and go to space and understand a concept of, well, the interaction of quasars. Okay, we'll learn about quasars. What are quasars? And then we'll understand how exactly Einstein's cross, a recent discovery that has been made. Okay, what's the interaction of quasars with Einstein's cross, and what does it mean for the, say, study of evolution of the space? Okay, very important. We'll also seek to understand the limit of Hubble telescope, how exactly it is doing what it is doing. All right. Aditi, good morning. Thank you for letting me know. All right. And third, we'll take a look at is the Nidhi scheme that has been announced by the Department of Science and Technology, and specifically again for promoting entrepreneurship, in the country. So first we will understand what is the Nidhi scheme, what is it talking about, and then in terms of, say, India's Global Innovation Index score or competitive index score, what is that to be done, in terms of, say, bringing forward this whole platform, because again you realize that India is the 3rd largest economy now. Okay, we are around on the innovation index, we are close to 38-40, right? So we have made substantial progress in the last, say, 8-10 years. What else is needed to do that last mile connectivity, as you might assume it to be? Okay, Kabilan, good morning. Welcome, guys. Okay, so first let's seek to understand the topics, the questions from yesterday. Now this is my Instagram ID. You can go ahead and scan this and join me here. And this is my Telegram ID. So the PDF of this particular lecture will be uploaded on the Telegram channel close to around, say, afternoon, 12 baje ke aaspaas. Okay. All right, let's get started. So the questions from yesterday. Which of the following sets of the Indian Armed Forces may be considered to be equal in rank and capacity? Okay. So you have the 3 constituents, the Indian Army, the Indian Air Force, and the Indian Navy. So you are supposed to identify the rank, the equivalent ranks in each of the 3 services. Okay. Good morning, Shubhankar, Jai Hind. Pratik, good morning. Girish, good morning. Welcome, guys. Okay. So how are you going to remember this? Because again, this is a very, say, difficult sort of comparison for you to remember. What you are going to do is, you are going to take a look at this particular slide that I have for you. Okay. And in terms of, say, the distribution of ranks, right, you are going to identify them on 2 criteria. One is the flag officers, the others are the non-flag officers. Okay. So the flag officers in the Indian Army start from, say, brigadier level. All right. Flag officers in the Indian Air Force start from, say, the wing commander level. Right. And in the Indian Navy, it starts from, say, the captain level. Okay. Once you know the flag officers, which means you have the right to fly that particular flag that contains the emblem of the service that you are in and is of a different shape and size depending on your seniority in the service. Okay. So straight away, that's going to be an identification criteria. In this case, the answer here would be General, Admiral, and Air Chief Marshal, the apex positions in all of the 3 services, right? So this is considered to be equal in rank and capacity. Let's go forward now. All officers of the Indian Armed Forces use rank flags. Like I told you, flags are a privilege that is, say, extended just to a certain set of officers after you have achieved that basic seniority. Okay, it's not a right that you have, right? So all officers do not use flags. Indian Coast Guard operates under the Ministry of Defence is correct. BSF and ITBP operate under the MHA. In fact, you have the CAPF examination of the UPSC, right? So which is again used for recruitment to the paramilitary forces of India. So you have BSF, ITBP, SSB, CISF, CRPF. All of these are what? The paramilitary organizations which report to the Ministry of Home Affairs. Right? Next, the Field Marshal rank has been only awarded to Sam Manekshaw. Yes, the great Sam Manekshaw, whom we have heard so much about, right? Who in fact is responsible for, say, the scholar-warrior concept that we know of. You know, the ideal soldier is a scholar-warrior. You know, Sam Manekshaw is also credited with that famous quote that if a person tells you that the soldier is unafraid of dying, well, either the soldier is lying or he is a Gurkha. You know, one of the stalwarts of Indian defense. So he was obviously awarded the Field Marshal rank. You also have K.M. Kariyappa. Okay, K. Kariyappa, in fact, who was also given and honored with the Field Marshal rank. All right, go ahead and read about, now next I want you to go ahead and read about Arjun Singh. All right, he is from the Indian Air Force. Tell me who is Arjun Singh and how is he comparable to these two gentlemen that I just told you about, K. Kariyappa and Sam Manekshaw. All right, we'll go forward. Now, which of the above are eligible to be the officer in command of the Inter-Services Organization under the ISO bill that has just been in fact passed, right? So you straight away realize the ISO, the Inter-Services Organization, is a body that will comprise officers of the Indian Army, the Indian Air Force and the Indian Navy. And the person that they will be reporting to will be belonging to either of the three services. Okay, a sufficient seniority, either of the three services can be in charge of personnel from all three services. And that criteria to become, say, the officer in commanding of these particular entities, these particular personnel, brigadier from the Indian Army, the bare minimum seniority level, rear admiral from the Navy, and group captain from the Air Force. Major is not a part of this. Okay, major is in fact junior. You first go and become a lieutenant colonel, then a colonel, and then finally you go up to brigadier, right? So the above are eligible here, 1, 2 and 3 only. Now these questions again picked from yesterday's class, guys. Okay, so it's not something new that I'm discussing. If you have any doubts, go ahead and revisit yesterday's class and it will all smoothen out for you. Okay, let's look at the next question. Which of the following is related to GDPR? GDPR, which is considered to be the gold standard of internet regulation, data regulation. Okay, of data regulation laws that exist right now throughout the whole world, right? And that is a credit that goes to the European Union. The European Union came up with the GDPR, now which has become a sort of Magna Carta of digital governance, right? We'll go forward. Pseudonymization. The name should give it away. Pseudo means false or say not the apparent one, which means that it's different from what it was originally intended, which means it is transforming data sets to protect privacy of users, that you're going ahead and encrypting them. Okay, encryption of the data set is happening so that the identifiers that link the particular data to, say, an individual like you, well, that is encrypted. There is no way you can link the data to the individual, right? That is pseudonymization, right? So the answer here being 1. We'll go forward. Data localization, the practice of storing data within the territorial boundaries of the country, absolutely correct. Data sovereignty is data localization plus enforcement of law. Essentially that, okay? That it is to do with both the physical location plus the ability of the law to have control over the data. That you should be able to summon the data when the law of the country so demands it. Okay, that is data sovereignty, which means this is correct too. Metadata provides information about the content of the data collected, such as text, message or picture, is in fact incorrect. Metadata is what? The data of data. right? So you have say data sets which collected together are called as metadata. Now the metadata does not give you particular information about the data collected. It gives you the general trend. Okay. Say the keywords that were used across say 1 million text messages. So hello would be say number 1, right? That would be metadata. It will not give away that say Bhuvan texted a particular person hello and then the message after that. No. Okay. So metadata will fail to provide that particular specific information, which means this is incorrect. The correct statements here being 1 and 2 only, right? And finally, the question on polymetallic nodules, which again is the primary concern of India's deep sea mission, right? Good morning, Arka. Welcome, welcome, right? So there again, small potato-like rounded accretions composed of the deep sea minerals. You are looking at manganese, nickel, cobalt, copper, and hydroxide. Okay, they are to be found 6,000 meters under the sea, which is why India's deep sea mission is also looking at that particular depth. What's the name of India's deep sea mission? Let me know in the chat very quickly. And ISA is the one that gives you the permission to go ahead and do it where you are outside your EEZ. Okay, if you want to go ahead and search for polymetallic nodules, say outside your exclusive economic zone, then you approach the International Seabed Authority, and then they are the ones, the regulating entity of that particular water. Okay, so the statements correct here being all 3 statements. Okay, all 3 statements. Right. Question G, which of the above minerals are now classified as non-atomic minerals? So the offshore minerals particular bill that was passed, the amendment bill that was passed, you know now that there were originally 12 atomic minerals in India. Out of that, you can say 6 have been liberalized. Loosely understood, 6 atomic minerals are now liberalized. They will see the participation of private entities. Okay. Whereas the 6 remaining minerals are not liberalized, which means state has exclusive monopoly over their mining. Okay. It's complete regulation because they are again critical to national security, the atomic minerals that remain. So you're looking at minerals like uranium, centerpiece of our nuclear policy or our whole nuclear ambitions. Okay. Found in say Hazaribagh, Singhbhum, Gaya district. So again, not liberalized, completely under government control, which means private bodies can't go mine for it. Okay. Similarly, you're looking at thorium, antimony, thorium made from monazite sand, right? So all of these again are a part of the remaining atomic minerals. I've given you 3 names. Your homework is to go out and find the rest 3. Okay. And make sure that you quickly know and locate them. Where is say that particular mineral found in India? That's your work. That's how you are going to link the remaining gaps that exist, because I can't complete everything in a space of 60 minutes. Okay, so do this. The atomic minerals, the 6 remaining minerals that are left, I have given you 3 of them. The rest 3 you are going to find out. Whereas here, these 6 minerals that you see here are all of them that have been liberalized now, which means that private bodies can go ahead and mine lithium, beryllium, niobium, titanium, zirconium, right? They are absolutely permissible. The clauses of exploration, of production discussed in detail in yesterday's class. You have fixed timelines. You have also the entity as a particular person, a person A. Now this bloke cannot go ahead and say mine for these minerals wherever he so pleases. If he has pools of money, it does not guarantee him absolute accessibility. Yes, the restriction has been put that 45 minutes by 45 minutes of latitude by longitude is the maximum area this particular person can hold while going and mining for these minerals. Yes, that's a brief recap of yesterday's offshore minerals amendment bill that was just passed. Correct, Shubhankar. The recently amended act. Absolutely. Okay. So this is again, these are the non-atomic minerals now. Whereas these are the atomic minerals. Fill in the gaps for yourself. Alright. These are my star individuals, like I always mention. And I'm happy to see continuous progress and participation of these individuals, including a lot many more. Alright. I would again request those students who watch me on a regular basis, take some time out, take 5 minutes and go ahead and answer the questions. Test yourself. It's about continuous evaluation. It's about outcome-based learning. that you spend say 60 minutes with me, you should be able to solve 10 questions out of it. All right. Good morning, Bulbul. Welcome. ठीक है. Okay. Now, this is the first topic for the day, the Vakita porpoise. This is straight from the website, this screenshot coming from the website of the International Whaling Commission. Okay. Headquarter is in England. All right. And it basically looks to regulate, say, whaling and exploitation of marine life. Right. You must be aware of that recent case where, say, IWC and Japan were at loggerheads. Okay. Complete loggerheads. Why? Because of, say, Japan's policy of whaling, to the extent that Japan had to withdraw from the membership of the IWC. Okay, are you aware of this? So please understand, membership of the International Whaling Commission firstly is voluntary. You can withdraw out of it as and when you please, like Japan did. Why does that? Why is it possible? Because this membership is not backed by any particular treaty. There is no treaty to back this membership. It's voluntary. Meri marzi. Japan left. India is a member of the International Whaling Commission. Clear? Now, this particular screenshot that I have for you, the first ever extinction alert, the Vakita porpoise. Okay, and look at the damning statement that has come out of it. Despite nearly 30 years of repeated warnings, the Vakita hovers on the edge of extinction due to gill net entanglement. Here's the primary reason. Okay. This porpoise, this mammal that exists, is now under direct threat due to the reason of gill net entanglement. Good morning, my dream LBSNA. Good name. Welcome. Okay. So that's the reason. This particular porpoise is threatened, in fact critically endangered now. Just 10 of them are left. Okay. Just 10 of them are left. We'll discuss where the distribution is, but realize the reason first. This should stick into your head now. Gill net entanglement. It's clear, it's crucial for you. We'll understand what is there now. Very easy concept. Vakita is the world's rarest marine mammal. So closer home, you have, say, dugong. Another marine mammal. Correct? Scientific name I'll have to check, Shubhankar. I'm not sure of the scientific name. I'll have to check. Okay. But the common name, the species name is Vakita porpoise. Scientific name I'll check and I'll update. Okay. Alright. So the Vakita, the world's rarest marine mammal on the edge of extinction. It's characterized by a large dark ring around its eyes. You know, once you're studying for UPSC for a long time, you will also become like a Vakita. You will also have dark rings around your eyes. Okay. So you have this particular feature is there, and they are found close to the shore in the Gulf. Which Gulf? The Gulf of Mexico. All right. This is where it's found. In fact, the Vakita is endemic to the Gulf of Mexico. Now we'll see where the Gulf of Mexico is. So this particular porpoise is characterized with a dark circle around its eye, found near the Gulf of Mexico, critically endangered. Why? Because of gill net entanglement. All right. Critically endangered, as you would expect, only 10 are left. And now, understand the problem here. It's not that people are going and hunting Vakitas. Obviously, that has happened in the past. But right now, the problem is commercial. Okay. There exists a particular type of fish in this particular area. This is the Gulf of Mexico. Right. Here, this side, you have the Pacific. Right. This particular area is the Gulf. This is the peninsular area of Mexico. Right. So, the Gulf separating the peninsula from the mainland Mexico. All right. Cortez Sea. This particular area also called as Cortez Sea. Okay. Cortez Sea. You have the Pacific on one side, Mexico on the other side. All right. And this particular area is called Baja California, which is the Mexican California. Right. So the Gulf of Mexico separating the peninsula from the mainland. Clear? Now, what is the issue here? It's found in the Gulf of California. And what you find here is the problem that I was telling you about. There is a particular fish that you find, okay, that goes by the name of totoaba. Now this fish is a delicacy in the Chinese market, okay. So obviously a demand is there, which means a supply needs to be there. How is the supply being done? The fishermen go ahead and engage in gill net fishing. What is gill net fishing? We'll seek to understand. But please understand, in the process of gill nets, the gill net fishing being used, you just don't have the totoaba fish that is caught. You also have the poor vaquita that is caught. In fact, you find that sea turtles, dolphins, humpback whales, everything is at threat due to this particular gill net fishing. Okay, so this is again there where the distribution is. Let's look at what gill net fishing is now. Okay, so here you have, look at this particular entity. You will understand it this way straight away. You have a large net that is there. The holes here, these are designed in such a way that just the fish's head gets through. Okay. Now once the fish's head gets through and the body can't get through, okay, the body, it's designed in such a way that just the head goes through. Okay. So once the fish's head gets stuck, it starts to wriggle, try to free itself, and in that process, you find it gets more entangled, eventually hurting its gills, eventually an easy catch for the fisherman. Now this is gill net fishing. Why is it called gill net? Because eventually it's affecting your gills. It's just that your head is getting stuck in the net. Okay. So it's a wall of netting that hangs in the water column made of nylon. So it's very, it's got strength. Even the strongest of fishes are going to find difficult to break free from nylon, right? So the mesh sizes are designed so that the fish only get their head through, but not their body. So once your gills are caught, you further go and get more entangled. So now you find that because of this particular method, that not just the totoaba fish is being caught, which is again itself endangered, you're also finding that the critically endangered vaquita porpoise is also getting caught. Completely their habitat destruction is happening. It's like rat's net. That's a very good analogy, Shubhankar. How you go ahead and catch a rat at home, no? Same way. Okay. Now, this particular gill net, there is another term that you need to understand, and the term that is called is bycatch. Okay. Now, what is the term bycatch mean? So, for example, if I am a fisherman, if I am using gill net fishing, and I am going for commercial, commercial fishing of this particular, the totoaba, the Chinese delicacy. After that, during this process of using the gill net, if I end up catching, say, a vaquita or some sort of sea turtle, because again, it's the ocean, it's free flowing water, all sorts of organisms and living beings are there. All that you catch during the process of gill net fishing, besides the product that you are looking for, is categorized as a bycatch. Okay. So bycatch means all the other organisms that are affected because of gill net fishing. So closer home, for example, just a few days ago, we did a class where we discussed, the Park Strait, where we were discussing, say, the India-Sri Lanka relations, and we discussed deep sea trawling, where you have a fishing maneuver where you just go and sweep the ocean floor. Complete destruction of marine ecosystem. Remember that? So this is again another form of fishing being practiced in Gulf of California, right? Make sure that you know where what is happening. Okay, you never know how the questions may be designed. The question might just be, say, match the following. Okay, say example, trawling in Gulf of Mannar. All right. Gill net fishing, Gulf of California. So you see, they are just going to ask you to identify which is correctly matched. So make sure that you know the area also. Where exactly is this kind of fishing being practiced? Okay. So this is deep net fishing. You now know bycatch, you know gill net, and you exactly know how this works. All right. So the threats from gill nets now. Straight away, you're looking at sea turtles, marine mammals, okay, all sorts of whales, porpoise, dolphins, sea lions. You see, nothing is exempt from the wrath of the gill nets. Okay, so a major problem. Now, what has happened? The International Whaling Commission says that, well, they have been trying for 30 years to go ahead and provide a sustainable alternative to gill nets to the fishermen who go ahead and practice fishing of the totoaba fish. However, that again is not worked out, primarily because you are looking at the commercial angle here, that there is a huge demand, which is why the fishermen are also not able to scale back their operations. That is the whole story of the vaquita porpoise. Clear? Okay. Look at this. This is how it's caught, guys. You see, it's just that the head gets stuck, and once the head gets stuck, there's no way it's moving out. Okay. So you have the vaquita that is caught as a bycatch, what is meant for totoaba. Totoaba, which is itself vulnerable, by the way. Okay. So this has obviously gone and increased the problem. Clear? And look at this line that comes from the IWC. The International Whaling Commission writes this on its website, by the way. Okay. The extinction of the vaquita is inevitable unless 100% of gill nets are substituted immediately with alternative fishing gears. You realize the problem comes again with fishing. Unsustainable fishing. Similar to closer home, where it is happening for us near the Park Strait. Yes, same problem. Absolutely clear this concept now? Now go ahead and read the Hindu article where it is getting published tomorrow. Hindu will publish it tomorrow. It's too early for them right now. Okay, it has just gotten announced 6-7 hours ago. Okay, तो जब हिंदू का आर्टिकल आएगा आपको सब कुछ पता होगा. Okay, go ahead and answer this for me in the comment box. I have questions from A to I. Alright, make sure that you answer all of them for me. In the comment box, I will expect your answers. Number 1, Gulf of California, also known as Sea of Cortez. It separates Baja California Peninsula from Mexican mainland. Vaquita is a mammal endemic to the Gulf of Mexico. Totoaba fish is caught as the bycatch in the illegal fishing of the vaquita porpoise. Identify the incorrect statements. Okay, which statements are incorrect here? You will go ahead and answer that for me. Statement B, International Whaling Commission is a voluntary organization and not backed by a treaty. I have told you what IWC is. Okay. India is not a member of the IWC. Japan is a member of the IWC. Identify the correct statements. Clear? Let's look at question C. Dugong, Ganges River dolphin, platypus, echidna, manatees. Okay, they are all again endangered mammals. All of them, if you do not know the common link between all of them. Okay, so which of them would you expect to find in India? Now, I know most of you would probably know about these two. Let me know if you know about the others also. Okay, answer this for me in the comment box. Right, okay, a brief announcement, guys. From the 11th, okay, I am going to be majorly associated with this particular batch that is starting. I will be in charge of the geography lessons, geography and environment. So, we will see as to how do we go ahead and plan editorial edge in the morning, which comes to you again on StudyIQ IS. But for the time being, I can tell you those who are a part of this particular initiative, those who have signed up, you know, can expect to see me straight from day one. I will be with you because we are starting with geography for you. For those of you who would like to become a part of this, because this is going on to become a part of your study preparation up until the next 12 months, 18 months minimum. Okay, you're looking at both prelims and mains preparations focus from day one. And so go ahead and sign up for this if you're interested. 3 languages being offered in Hindi, English and bilingual. I'm with the English team. So if you'd like to go ahead and sign up for this, make sure that you use the code BALIVE, BALIVE, not for anything else, but because you get associated to my batch. You know, I am in direct contact with you regarding your preparation. Clear? So go ahead and sign up for this. This begins on the 11th. So we are just a couple of days away from this whole process to begin. Okay? The second topic now, Einstein's cross. Very, very interesting. Okay? Very, very interesting. You will understand exactly what this whole concept is about in say like 5 to 10 minutes, not more than that. Okay? Now, please look at this here. Okay? This obviously is the magnified image that I have showed you. Now, you can obviously spot 4 particular stars here. Clear? But to the naked eye, or say not a strong telescope as say the Hubble, if you were to go ahead and observe this, it would look like a single star. Okay. Now the Hubble has gone ahead, the Hubble telescope by the NASA, the NASA, that has gone ahead and now confirmed that, well, this, what was originally considered to be a single star, are now a group of 4 stars. Okay. So now scientists are considering as to how is it that a star that is so bright and luminous in the sky, okay, has 4 of it in close proximity to each other. So this is Einstein's cross. This group of 4 stars, okay, that is Einstein cross. And why are they called so? Because they are lined up in a special manner that makes them look like a cross. So here, this is the cross that I'm talking about. Okay. So now, this is Einstein's cross, the group of 4 stars up in the sky. Okay. Now, the reason why these stars look like a cross, this is what the article tells us. This is an article that I've picked from the science.com magazine. You will also find this coming in today's Express or Hindu. For sure, it will be there. Okay. So, why is this happening? Because what you find is, say you are here at the Earth, right? You are here, Earth. There's something behind it. All right. Say entity X. There's something behind it that is so powerful. Okay. Something so different that it is able to bend light. Have you seen these Hollywood movies? Huh? Hollywood movies can bend bullets for you. But here in science, Einstein has said this, that light, is it a wave or a particle? Right? So here what is happening is light is getting bended. And why could that happen? Which means that the entity behind it, X, is something so different, so huge, that it is able to influence the property of light as we know it. Right? So we are going to understand this change. What is this change? What is that entity X that is causing light to bend and say have this illusion to us here on Earth? What looks like 1 star are actually 4 stars. Okay, so let's understand this now. What we are looking at, entity X, is a quasar. Okay. Now quasars, understand it in the most simplest manner. Quasars are absolutely luminous entities in the outside our Milky Way. Okay, look at this. Extremely luminous galactic cores with gas and dust falling in a supermassive black hole. Look at this here. This is again a 3D representation from the NASA website that I've taken. Okay, it's a supermassive black hole. It's got gas, dust, and eventually, because of the magnitude of the operation at a quasar, it is able to emit electromagnetic radiation. Clear? Now, across the entire spectrum. So, they are the most luminous objects in the known universe, quasars. Okay, typically emitting thousands of times more light than the entire Milky Way. Do you realize this now? So, they are so luminous, so huge, full of gas, dust. This entity that exists beyond this group of 4 stars that is our point of attention is able to now go ahead and bend light. Okay. The distance that you're looking at in light years is close to 600 million light years. All right. 600 million light years. So huge distance. Okay. Now, the absence of a quasar closer to Earth does not mean that there were no quasars in, say, our Milky Way. It just means that now we have evolved as a system. Okay, that it were there when, say, our Milky Way was younger. Now we are getting older. So which means it's much more developed. So what's your inference from this? That quasars develop in a young solar system, in a young Milky Way. Okay, please understand this now. This is critical to understanding that it's young, it's in formation, and it's huge. That it's got a long life ahead of it, and it's huge already. Okay, now let's go forward and look at exactly what's happening. So you see this particular distortion that is happening. This lensing, it's called. This lensing. Have you ever seen, say, a magnifying glass? Okay, you put it against the sun And it's actually what happens here. That light goes ahead and focuses, which is why the image becomes focused. Similar thing is happening because of the quasars. This lensing effect is happening, right? That it is able to go ahead and bend light because of its whole presence behind the particular star, right? This is the role of the quasar in the Einstein's cross. Okay, so let's look at how it actually looks like. So this particular image has been again taken from the NASA website. So you look at this, these blinking ones that you see here, all these blinking lights that you see, that are essentially which? Now you know that say light travels at the speed of what? 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second, right? So now obviously the distance is huge. You are looking at 600 million years, which means light has taken substantial time to travel, reflect from there, come to Earth so that our telescopes can see it. Which means the image that you are receiving today is outdated. It's not the most updated image that you are receiving. Why? Because again the distance is so huge that by the time light reflects and comes back to you, it's already a substantial time that has passed. Okay, so that is quasars. In front of them you have the Einstein's cross, and here you are at Earth going ahead and observing as to how light is getting bent in a manner in which you are able to observe 4 different stars in place of 1. Clear? This is Einstein's cross for you. This is quasars for you. Okay? Clear? Okay. So as light from the quasar, like I told you, as light from the quasar traverses different paths around the galaxy, the lens that is there, each image arrives at Earth with a slight time delay. You are getting outdated images. Why? Because the distance is so huge. By the time the image arrives here, it's outdated. Okay. So the time delay allows scientists to go ahead and understand more about galaxy evolution. Okay. So here you are the observer, the lensing galaxy and the background quasar all align so that you are able to duplicate. You know, the quasar's interaction is visible to you from here. Why? Because all 3 of the entities, the quasar, the Einstein's cross and the Earth, are in a perfect alignment. Which is why you are able to study quasars so that you can understand the evolution of, say, not just the solar system or Milky Way, but outside our own Milky Way also. Okay? Okay. Answer this question for me also, please. Statement D. Hubble, is it of NASA? Gaia, is it of Roscosmos? Chandra X-ray Observatory, is it of ISRO? And XMM Newton, is it of the European Space Agency? Okay, these are again say space observation or space telescopes or space ports. Which agency is responsible for which? You will let me know in the comment box. Let's look at question E. No object can move faster than the speed of light. Can it or can it not? Yes or no? Basic physics, guys. See, which is why NCERT physics is important. Have a look at it. So many concepts that you must have forgotten by now will come back to you like deja vu. Suddenly you will remember the conversion between degree centigrade and Fahrenheit. You know, how say SI unit is different from say the different units. Go ahead and have a look at it. I am telling you the importance of NCERTs is critical. Each and every faculty, the experienced ones, the new ones, the old ones, everyone will tell you. NCERT is basic 101 preparation, you know. Unless you start with NCERTs, there's no point going through any other book, any other lecture, any other class. Okay. So take some time, do NCERTs and let me know. Is statement 1 correct or incorrect? Statement 2, speed of sound is lesser than the speed of light. What is the speed of sound, guys? Do we have any physics graduates in watching this class? Let me know. What's the speed of sound? If speed of light is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second, what's the speed of sound? Okay. Space and time are relative and all motion must remain relative to a frame of reference. In fact, Mr. Einstein would probably agree to this statement. Okay. So which of the above are correct statements? You will let me know in the comment box. All right. Okay. Do this, guys. Don't be afraid of doing your NCERTs. There is no shame. In fact, it's absolutely critical. Okay. You will thank me later. Trust me. Okay. Lecture 3 of Aranya series went live last evening. 9 to 10 1-hour intensive where we discussed functions of ecosystem, we discussed principles of ecology, and we left at the beginning of, say, pyramids, homeostasis and succession. Okay, so lecture 4 coming soon. But before that, make sure that you have gone ahead and seen this lecture. I have introduced around, say, 10 MCQs, including previous year's questions in this lecture. Please answer them too in the comment box. Okay, environment ecology is something that you cannot ignore, guys. 10 to 30% of the paper. On a good year, 30% of your paper is directly linked to environment ecology. And on a not so good year, you are still looking at 10 questions that come from there. So it has to be a focus area. Okay. And environment is something you can easily link with geography. You can study both of them together. You can finish both of them together. Okay. So make sure that you go ahead and look at lecture 3 of this. Went live last evening. Lecture 4 coming soon. For that information, do join me on my Telegram channel. Okay. Now the last topic of the day, and we'll look at Nidhi scheme by the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. Okay. The full form, National Initiative for Developing and Harnessing Innovations, which means it has to be done by the Science and Technology Department, DST. Okay. Now what are they looking at? For an entrepreneur, if you are to go ahead and start a business today, think logically, forget the policy. The policy is all logic eventually. Okay. Unless it is made by like a very old, outdated person, a babu, most policy is quite logical. So you'll realize if you are going to go ahead and start a business today, so you come ahead with a particular idea. Now that idea, the whole journey from an idea to implementation to scalability, because eventually the whole point of innovation is that the public needs to be served. Okay, if you are just going to serve, say, 100 odd people in a country, that is not a good idea. Do you realize? That is the journey a particular idea has to make. That is the same point this policy seeks to address. Right from the idea up until making sure it is ready for the public. This is Nidhi scheme to make sure that it is able to foster innovation and entrepreneurship. How does it do that? First, prayas, which means try in Hindi. And why try? Because you are going to try and capture minds first, the young minds that are there. Okay, because eventually your innovators are going to come from colleges. Okay, IITs, IIMs, NITs, say the medical institutions, commerce colleges, science colleges, arts colleges, all of these fine young minds of India are going to be the next innovators. It's not going to be 40 plus, 50 plus. Honge, but they are not the rule, they are the exception. Okay? So, prayas, promoting and accelerating young and aspiring innovators. Okay, so you're going ahead and offering basic financial support. Why? Because of proof of concept or idea. This is critical here. Proof of concept or idea. That you have an idea. So go ahead, show me the working of it first. Show me a prototype of your idea. How would it look like? Do you have a model set? Do you have a data set that you have prepared? Do you have a simulation of, say, when it works in real life, what are the key result areas to expect? That is proof of concept. Thereafter, you go ahead and Nidhi entrepreneurs, the next stage. What do? You support budding entrepreneurs by providing fellowships. Those who have shown proof of concept, you go ahead, bring them on board. Give them assistance, give them hand-holding, give them direction right from day one. Okay. Then you are looking at seed support. Why is seed support important? Because you need seed funding to get underway now. That your basic operational infrastructure has to be put for that idea to become scalable eventually. Which means you're going to need some amount of capital. If not, say, a huge amount. A basic amount of capital is needed to get things underway. Well, DST, Department of Science and Technology, will take care of it. Okay. But depending on your proof of concept, if this is scalable, only then do you progress to the next stages. Okay. After you have got seed support, now go ahead and accelerate. Okay. Which means you're looking at investments. So what should be your criteria? Obviously, if you are going to go ahead and seek investments from, say, venture capitalists, which means you need to have a basic structure in place. At least a legal team is there. A finance team is there. All of them know the best practices of the work that they are going to do. Okay. All of that information has to be there. You can't just go and ask for money randomly कि मेरे को 10 crore रुपए दे दो. Like how Shark Tank happens. That's not how it functions in real life. You need to show credentials that I have the credential to handle this amount of money for my business. Okay, so you are looking at accelerator program. Thereafter, business incubators and centers of excellence to create the infrastructure. And then finally, you're looking at making all of this inclusive, because eventually we are a socialist country. That dimension has to be there. So capitalism plus this included. So you're making sure that all of the above that we discussed, right from say proof of idea up until accelerator and centers of excellence, all of that is open to not just say the major, not just say Gurgaon or Noida or Mumbai or Bangalore, not just say people from here, but also from say small towns and cities, Siliguri or Jalandhar or Jabalpur, all of those small places. It should be accessible, equally open for all, equally open for both genders, equally open for all segments of the society. An idea is not the privilege of just the elite people. It can come to even a small person, not so privileged person. Okay, so it should be available and open to all. That is what the last word, inclusive technology business incubators. Okay, and now DST can't do this, all of this alone, because you know that the idea can be from any sector. Primarily, we are looking at say agriculture sector. Primarily, we are looking at science and technology. We are looking at say in electronics or defense related. These kind of innovations are encouraged right now by the government of India. You know that all of these particular ministries that I'm telling you about, Ministry of Defense, electronics, okay, agriculture, all of these are what? The focus area of the government right now, which is why you find all of these organizations are stakeholders here. Okay, you're finding the CSIR, Center for Science and Research. Okay, you're looking at DBT through BIRAC. Go ahead and read about BIRAC today. Ministry of Defense, because again defense indigenization going throughout the country. Electronics, information technology, because again data regulation. India becoming a hub of 140 crore data sets, which means you need innovations, not just to harness the data for say collective benefit, but also to make sure our privacy concerns are taken care of. That we have the adequate infrastructure and architecture to protect our data. Solutions to which will come from people, from individuals, from say our students, our engineers, our scientists. Okay. And finally, agriculture, Indian Council of Agricultural Research. Because again, agriculture to chahiye hi apne ko. Correct? Shubhankar, one of the problems is over dependency on dollar. Oh yes, Shubhankar, that's a structural issue that you're saying it, which is why again the whole concept of de-dollarization also has come up now, no? That you're finding that eventually it's one currency that everything is pegged against, and well, you might say it's free market, but to an extent after the debt ceiling of USA, you do find that thrust on de-dollarization will pick up intensity. You must be aware that the United States' credit rating was recently reduced. Yes. So again, that's going to become a problem areas just for say, not just for funding also, but for say all of these processes that are linked after that. Okay. So that's a very fair observation, Subhankar. I agree with you. Good observation. All right. Here is the question, guys. Have a look at this. Which of the following releases the Global Competitiveness Index? Now, I know these indexes are very troubling. Okay, very troubling. But make sure that you know the ones in which India is doing extremely well. There are some in which say you will find India is quite behind, say press index. Okay, fine. But the ones where we have made substantial progress, say ease of doing business, who comes up with that? Innovation, who comes up with that? Okay. So, competitiveness index, you will let me know who comes up, who releases this index, and who comes up with the innovation index is also something you will tell me. Okay, closely linked, closely related. Okay, so competitiveness and innovation, two different indexes have been asked here. Make sure that you know the differences of both the organizations that come up for this. And finally, a question from previous years. So much of talk on entrepreneurship, huh? Startup India, this, that, but unless you do not know what a venture capitalist does or what a venture capital is, what's the point? Okay, see how basics are asked by the UPSC. They will never ask you, say, in today's example only, if I ask you about, say, the Pakita. Huh? If the UPSC was to go ahead and ask a question on Pakita, it will go ahead and ask about porpoise. You know, what type of, say, food does it eat? Okay, is it egg laying or is it a mammal? It will ask you the very basic. That is where the students are, which is why I also make sure that your focus is on basics, that you know that the pakita is a mammal. Okay, it's not a egg laying thing or something like that. Okay, you should remember all of this. That is it critically endangered or not? Okay, so let me know the answer to this. Venture capital. What does venture capital mean? What does a venture capitalist do? Okay, so we have questions, how many? A to H. Okay, please then leave the answers for me, guys. I really appreciate it. Those who watch this class later also, go ahead, take a few moments, 5-6 minutes only it takes, and leave the answers for me. It will help you going forward. Okay, that completes our class for today, guys. If you understood the 3 topics that were helpful for you, the pakita, we also discussed our Nidhi scheme, and what was the second topic that we discussed? But if you understood all 3, if there are any doubts, I'll be happy to take them, or else please consider leaving me a like. Okay, that will be immensely helpful and I'll be grateful for your consideration. Okay, any questions? I'll be happy to take them, guys. We discussed Einstein's cross. Yes, completely slipped off my mind. Bataiye, any questions? I'll be happy to take them since there are a couple of minutes left. How's everyone's preparation going? Is it on point? Have you guys started with the NCERT? Okay, because in my strategy video that I had uploaded in July, last month, I had asked all those who were watching me to go ahead and start with NCERTs and look to finish them by, say, August. Okay, so if someone had started that time, I'm sure you would be, say, very close to finishing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 6 to 10 NCERTs. By, say, August 15th, 16th, you should be able to finish. If you have not, go ahead and start now. It's still not late. There's a lot of time. You can start from the basics and go up to the level that is required for, say, up until the interview level, where you are asked opinions. And that opinion, guys, I'm telling you, I repeat myself, and at the expense of repeating myself. Unless your opinion is backed by analysis, there's nothing that differentiates you from any person on the street. Okay, because everyone has an opinion, but only a UPSC aspirant, a finalist, or someone who goes up till the interview will have that power of analysis. That discerning power to give you both sides of the coin. Okay. All right. Let's see. Geography class. Deepak, geography class, मैं समझा नहीं. Can you just let me know? Okay. Thank you. Pranjul, My Dream, LBSNA. Thank you. Shubhankar, if you have the StudyIQ environment book, it is absolutely brilliant. In fact, this is the most updated book. Follow it alongside the class. Okay. You will find that I pick up certain points from the book, but then this is supplemented by the current affairs also as it goes along. So it's the right strategy that you've adopted. Bulbul, I missed your message. What should I do? I am not aware. Is it regarding your answer? Let me know. Okay. All right, guys. Shubhankar, yes, आप किताब उसके साथ ही पढ़िए. That will help you. That will help you. All right. And again, to those who are watching me, if you haven't started with NCERTs, please start with NCERTs. Okay. Give yourself, say, 30 to 35 days. Finish kar lo. Acha, Deepak, I'll tell you. So what is going to happen is, on 11th, the P2I batch starts. Okay. So therein I will be involved with the batch. So I'll see as to how Editorial Edge can go forward. We'll probably shift the timing a bit so as to make it convenient for you and I both. Okay. I'll keep you updated. I'll just talk to my seniors here and I'll update you on how we will go forward with the Editorial Edge. Darshan, thank you for joining. I'm grateful for your participation. Okay, guys, I'll not take up much of your time. Go ahead, look at the PDF that I'll share on my Telegram channel. Read the article about the Pakita. If, say, Hindu has gone ahead and published it or Indian Express has gone ahead and published it, good. If not, wait till tomorrow. They'll publish it eventually. So that you know the basic, all the theory behind the Vakita porpoise. Okay, it's going to be critical because it's going to become extinct. Just 10 of them are left. So it's a landmark. We should keep out for it. Keep watch over it. Okay? Okay, guys. I shall see you tomorrow morning, 8 AM. Another class of Editorial Edge. Please do consider joining.